Question? Okay. Maybe? And when you say religion, do you mean the social way that you live, the spiritual way that you live?
I thought you said Israel.
Israel. I mentioned Israel because Israel is a term, the etymology goes back to ancient Nubia in Egypt, to Osiris, which is a people. And what I was trying to show you was the lineage of the people. The lineage meaning the preservation of the genetics amongst the people.
Do you know what other aliens' names or what Bannaker's was besides?
I have it right here. Let me pull it up because I didn't read it because I wanted to read it last week. But we got to get out of here real quick. But I'm gonna read a few of them. Silence do good. Silas Dogood, he wrote under the New England Current. Caelia Shortface. Martha Careful. American Weekly Mercury. And what was happening is he would write in various newsprints under alias names. Busybody, American Weekly Mercury. Anthony Afterwit, Pennsylvania Gazette. Alice Addertongue, Pennsylvania Gazette. Richard Saunders, Poor Richard's Almanac. Polly Baker, Benevolence, Letters in the London Newspaper. So those were some of them. Timothy Turnstone, Harry Meanwell. So you can see the communication. He was using antidotes to write under. Those were some of them that he wrote under. So we're going to go over some of that next week. But I have in my hand right here something very, very important. The Handbook for Special Agents. And this is from the Department of Treasury, Internal Revenue Service. Criminal Investigation Intelligence Division, Internal Revenue Service. Listen to this. It says, agents, our tax system is based on individual self-assessment and voluntary compliance. The material contained in this handbook is confidential in character. It must not, under any circumstance, be made available to persons outside the service. Mr. Mortimer Kaplan, Internal Revenue Service Commissioner. And of course, we deal with the IRS in this class very often. And brother gave me the pamphlet. I'm going to make it available the next time so you can have this so that we can begin to show and have knowledge of how we can get out of these contracts with these people. Okay?
Read that last page.
The last page. This one right here, New York Times? New York Times, Tuesday, March 30th, 1999. On the occasion of the 38th anniversary of the accession to the throne of His Majesty King Hassan II, the National U.S. Arab Chamber of Commerce takes pride in the bipartisan demonstration of support by undersigned U.S. members of Congress and endorsed by J. Dennis Hastert, Speaker of the House of Representatives, in recognition of the enduring friendship and economic cooperation which binds the United States of America with the Kingdom of Morocco, the first country to recognize American independence. That's very important because we do use and talk about the Treaty of Marrakesh, or the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, 1787, and cite the ancient black Moors who were in America in various parts who used these treaties in order to ensure their protections. Okay? So that's very, 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 very important, and it goes even further into the secret of the what is called the ancient Egyptian Arabic Order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, which was the first black shrine dome initiated in America. And there were various people who were part of that, but the reason why it's important is because it deals with the two books of law, Bible and Quran, and it's related to this treaty as far as information. The United States and Morocco shared an uninterrupted period of friendship, starting with Morocco being the first nation to recognize the independence of the United States of America and to have signed in 1787 a treaty of friendship and cooperation, the first of its kind, concluded by the young republic. The United States and Morocco continue to share common values of liberty, democracy, and peace, as well as common interests and goals in global security, particularly in Africa, the Middle East, and the Mediterranean region. And it's interesting in the books, the almanacs, he mentions the Sultan, Muhammad ibn Abdullah, who was the emperor of the Moorish empires of Western Africa when they first made the treaty. And again, that goes into the history of him knowing the two.
That came out
The New York Times, Tuesday, March 30th, 1999. So we got that. So, yes, sir.
Is there anywhere where anybody has sued from the book to use anything with their laws from the coming forth by day, or the book of the dead, besides the glorious Quran and the Bible?
Well, let me say something about that very quickly. The first recording of the Book of the Dead was in a papyrus called the Papyrus of Ani. The Papyrus of Ani, which recorded the ancient laws of Ma'at and recorded the glorious Book of the Dead, was first printed into existence on the papyrus of the Amarna dynasty. And it was E.A. Wallace Budge, who was the first white man who went and translated this papyrus, this ancient papyrus, which we're calling the Book of the Coming Forth by Day. But I'm mentioning that to say that the information that has been passed down as far as our sacred laws coming from that Amarna dynasty, we find that it's passed down chain for chain for chain all the way down to Muhammad. So the reason why I made the Quran, I said it is a retainer of all the spiritual laws when we know the correct Arabic, is because this information was put for the first time in a book in that form. So if we get down to using that material or one book and get our own translations correct, we'll be able to preserve it. And it's also in this treaty, Article 21 in the original Arabic, it states that the Sharia, which is the laws of the Quran, is the law of correspondence between these ancient Moors or Muslims and the United States of America. Okay? So I mean, we go further into that, and it's very, very powerful. We just have to get the information out and learn how to, utilize it in our studies and our practicality. I know they're ready to get out of here. Any more questions? Any more questions? Okay, so we close for the day. Sorry we took so long.